So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we welcome you to the second technical webinar titled Drywall Materials for Interior and Exterior Application. Please allow to introduce myself to you. My name is Musbah Muqbil. I am USG Boral Middle East Regional Marketing Manager. This is the first, as said, this is the second technical webinar, while the first technical webinar was conducted last month titled Essential Acoustic Consideration for a Drywall Partition, which had given us the courage and confidence to consider a monthly technical online events with our interested parties. Today, as we are an exciting day for USG Middle East, we are continuing to grow and evolve. We evolve by being adaptable, motivated, and open for new ideas, while we're maintaining our core 5 values of safety, excellence, innovation, integrity, and collaboration. The collaboration is critical to improve the way of buildings are constructed. At USG Middle East, we work with our partners, we work with our project stakeholders, we work with the other businesses to share the best practices and find new ways to advance performance. Our mission, as always, is to deliver innovation that help you to work smarter, do more, and to build better. I wish if joiner can just please mute their mic upon joining the webinar. Architects and construction companies usually need a safer and faster and a less costly way to build. Buildings owner always as well need better running building with a lower operational cost. Here comes the need for sustainable construction to address the global environmental challenges is growing rapidly. That's why throughout the second technical webinar, which is Drywall Materials Technical Webinar for Interior and Exterior Applications, we are gathering today the industrial best practices for building materials and architectural finishes. We are presenting today one technical presentation cover interesting topics about drywall materials, such as introduction to the gypsum board technical characteristics as fire, acoustics, and structural, including the ASTM, UL, and gypsum association, type of boards for interior and exterior use, and we will final with the drywall versus blockwork comparison, in addition to the gypsum board cost reduction due to installation and handling. This will be the second technical webinar for USG Middle East, and we are planning to conduct new technical webinars on a monthly basis as we are committed to provide an innovative products and solution to build your projects. The Middle East operation has multiple manufacturing facilities based in Dammam, Saudi Arabia, Doha in Qatar, and Turkey, which all allows us to supply any projects in a pace and a high technical support. And the company owns more than 1,300 registered patents, which are a result of our dedications of excellence and innovations. We are considered as your single source system manufacturer for acoustical ceilings and drywall partitions. Kindly note that this session will be recorded and we will share it with you once the presentation is over for all participants. I would like to thank our summit webinar speaker, Mr. Bassam Qar'an. Mr. Bassam Qar'an, he is USG Middle East Technical Manager. Mr. Bassam has been working with USG for the past 7 years as Technical Manager for the MENA region. Previously, he worked at Scott Wilson Consulting Firm Bahrain as a project manager, and prior to 2007, he was working as a project manager for the Department of Transportation for more than 10 years in California. Please note that each participant will receive 1 hour credit of continuing professional development, CPD certificate, after this webinar. Please, I would like to remind you to send us your questions at any time at the chat box in the WebEx, and we will answer all of your questions at the end of this technical event. Now, let me leave you with our colleague, Mr. Bassam Qar'an, for his technical webinar. Bassam, now you can please share your presentation.
Thank you, Misbah. Hopefully everybody's hearing me. I'm just waiting for the PowerPoint to open up. Just give me a second.
Yes, Bassam, we can hear you.
We hear you very well.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Misbah. Much appreciated. Welcome and thank you everybody for joining us in this session. I would just like to remind all of you, please send us your questions. We'll be happy to answer all of your questions during this session. We will try to answer all your questions at the end of the session. There's a chat box, like Misbah said, that you can send all your questions through. Talk briefly about USG. We've been in this business over 100 years. We have really transformed vision into powerful reality to help you build faster and smarter. USG Middle East has led the building industry in drywall innovation, especially our trademark, USG Sheetrock, Securock, Durock, and Fiberock. Brands have become the standard in the highest quality and best performing walls and ceiling used by many contractors, specified by architects and consultants. Our purpose, our purpose and commitment is to provide innovative products and solutions to build your projects. And as my colleague has said, we are your single source system manufacturer for acoustical ceiling, specialty ceilings, and drywall partitions, which we will tackle this afternoon, including drywall ceiling partitions. Wallboards. We will start introduction to wallboards, focusing on what it is it made of, how it's manufactured, and the relative industry organizations. Also, we will introduce drywall steel framing for walls, ceiling, and exterior envelopes. What is it? In general, wallboards, they are either, you can call them wallboards, drywall, gypsum boards, gypsum panel. They are terms that you hear often. They are all referred to material that is attached to metal framing to create a finished wall surface that can be used interchangeably. In general, wallboards or panels, they vary in length, but they have a common core between two pieces of paper. The paper varies by product, and this will be discussed later in the presentation. USG offers a wide range of boards, but our flagship and trademark boards are listed on your screen, which are Sheetrock, Durock, Fiberock brand, and Securock brand, which we will cover in this presentation. Gypsum rock provided the foundation for USG, so it is important to be familiar with that, what is gypsum and how it's being used in manufacturing. One of the biggest benefits of gypsum is its fire resistance, it's efficient and low cost, and it has acoustical properties or attributes. As has been mentioned before by my colleague, that we have been through this acoustical training last month, but the two main things that you need to be related to gypsum are the sound transmission class, STC, and the impact isolation class. You can actually watch, after this presentation, you can watch the Gypsum Association about gypsum, the miracle mineral, after we complete this educational video. Summary. Gypsum has been used for centuries, but actually only in the 19th century became popular in the 1940s because it's efficient and low cost. It is a fire-resistant board. It emits water, emits steam when exposed to fire, and slows heat, which actually allows occupants inside the building to exit. This will be part of the fire resistance that we will talk about in this presentation. Gypsum is mined, crushed, ground finer, then heated, and then calcination takes place. Gypsum is calcium sulfate and water. And like I said, when heated, water evaporates and it becomes a white powdery substance, commonly called stucco or plaster. When water is added back in, it turns into its original hardness. Additives are then added to make it slurry. Then it's spread between two pieces of paper, especially manufactured paper. And this is where the name sheetrock came from. USG named sheetrock because it's like a flat piece of rock between two paper. There's also another type of manufacturing that USG does in the US. In some plants, not all plants, it's called synthetic gypsum. It's actually a byproduct material usually generated by desulfurization of flue gases. It does meet the same quality standards as natural gypsum. It eliminates cost, waste disposal problem, and it's environmental friendly. To add to the summary, most paper used in gypsum are recyclable material. Research and development has really moved gypsum ahead. In the 1950s, actually, Type X, which is a fire board, has been added as an offering. It's always tested to manufacturing standards. Gypsum acts as a sound barrier in acoustics. It has very good acoustics. And it's efficient and low cost. Also, it is being used as a roof underlayment to help with fire resistance. Manufacturing process. What you see on your screen is just a manufacturing process. I will just go briefly about this. It is basically USG gypsum boards are produced using a highly automated continuous process. After the bond between paper and gypsum core is set to form a sandwich-like form, the boards are cut to length and dried and packaged for shipment. Throughout the process, strict quality assurance measures take place. This advantage of this process is that the length of gypsum board can be cut to length depending on your specific project and wall height given the minimum quantity required for production. I will talk about this lengthwise in the next few slides. What you see on your screen right now is the list of organization, the published definitions, test methods, recommended installation methods, and specification. First, we'll talk about ASTM. This is American Society of Testing Material. Sorry, I lost my screen here.
Musbah,
I think.
yes.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. So ASTM is the American Society for Testing Material. It's an international standard organization that develops, publishes consensus technical standards for a wide range of materials, products, systems, and services. I believe most of you have heard of it. It's what we go by in the US and in the Middle East. We also in the Middle East, especially in the Middle East, we don't really consider ASTM. We consider the European and BS standards in all our products. We actually have tested products, tested systems in accordance with BS and EN standards. because in some projects, it is specified it has to meet certain European and BS standards. So we do, in the Middle East, we do have both of these standards available. The screen. There we go. Gypsum Association, I'll just go, it's basically a non-profit organization. It's just an organization to promote gypsum, the use of gypsum in most projects. It is representative of all major manufacturers. So everybody is presented in this organization. The next big thing we want to talk about is the UL. You probably heard the term UL, is Underwriter Laboratories. It's an independent agency that does testing for USG and testing for other manufacturers too, not only USG. But what it does for USG, it does most of the USG systems and individual materials. It's located in Chicago, and this is where USG is based, actually in Chicago. But it is an independent testing agency that does all our fire tests, whether it is an individual board or a system testing. There's different ASTMs for different testings, okay? And let me just say this, there are certificates for everything that we do. Every test that UL does, it generates testing certificates. So you can get everything tested. All the certificates are available on the UL website. It's free of charge. You can just go to the UL website and get your certificates. Now, we can help you locate these certificates. We can provide you these certificates. But just to be, if you are in doubt of any certificates, please go to the UL website and get your certificates, and we can help you. We'll be more than happy to help you to get these certificates. Let's check. I'll go briefly. Use interchangeably with the wallboards. Of course, gypsum board and drywall. Help companies test systems and materials as they are related to live fire and safety. Of course, UL. Promote the use of gypsum advanced for development, growth, and general welfare of gypsum industry. Gypsum Association. And the last one is ASTM to develop technical standards for USG testing wallboards products. Type of boards. We have different type of boards. We have been manufacturing, innovating new boards for the industry. Our famous boards, as I've said before, is sheetrock, Durock, Fiberock, and Securock. These are the regular boards. One would actually perceive that gypsum boards are one type. However, we offer different type of boards and substrates for the construction industry. And as you will see in the next few slides, there are a lot of boards to consider. So we will talk about the boards, and then we will talk about the systems and how we can help you develop the right product for your project. These are the type of boards. We have the sheetrock brand. The sheetrock brand is a US brand. It's a USG brand. As you can see, it's 12.7, not 12.5. It's imperial dimensions because the United States, they are an imperial, not metric. So 12.7 means it's half an inch board. If you translate half an inch, it will be 12.7. We have boards locally that are 12.5 and 15 mm. But everything, the UL, the testing is in accordance to sheetrock. Fire-rated boards. You will see these are the fire-rated boards. USG has over 334 UL assemblies, and they're all listed on the UL website. Most of these UL assemblies, they contain, they are type X or type C assemblies. You would see others, you would see Fiberock, you would see other boards. But the mostly used boards are type X and type C. Type C is a bit more fire resistant than type X. It has more additives than type X. We can help you, like I said, we can help you get these certificates, but please, they are all available on the UL website. Also, to mention here, like I mentioned before, additional independent fire tests have been conducted in the Middle East to customer needs. What I mean by that is we have done testing in the Middle East in accordance to ASTM and BSEN standards. So we have done additional tests to the UL assembly tests. And we have these tests, so you can contact your local, or I will provide my email. Misbah will provide you my email. You can contact me and we can talk about, we can discuss if you have any questions. But there's more slides to come on this. I'm sorry, I'm just having a problem with my slides. It's not here again. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, this is the moisture-resistant boards. Usually there are several moisture-resistant boards. There's Mold-Tough. They're just a moisture-resistant board. What difference between the moisture-resistant board and the Mold-Tough? The Mold-Tough is used in high moisture resistance area. So there's a bit of difference between them, but Mold-Tough is more resistance to moisture, high moisture areas. And there's a list of boards here from 12.7 to 15.9. And we have also the regular, not the sheetrock, 12.5, moisture resistance wet stop. Okay. Shaft liners. Shaft liners are economical type X liners that score and snap easily without special handling. These panels feature non-combustible core that is encased in 100% recyclable paper. Also, these panels can be used for mechanical enclosures, elevator shafts, horizontal seating membrane, and risers. Acoustical plaster board. We have different types of acoustical plaster boards. Please, can you guys mute anybody who's not muted to mute his mic? We call ensemble monolithic acoustical ceiling. This is a seamless ceiling that doesn't, it's like a regular ceiling, drywall ceiling, but actually it has acoustical attributes. We can provide more information on this. There's other ceilings we call monosilent ceiling. It has also acoustical value, but it's monolithic ceiling. So you don't, it's just, when you look up, you just see a gypsum ceiling, but actually it has acoustics. As you know, a gypsum ceiling doesn't have any acoustical properties. So in this case, you actually have two types of ceiling that can give you the ceiling, the drywall ceiling effect, but actually it's acoustics. Substrates. You have Fiberock, which my understanding from Misbah that this will be another session. I will just go very brief about this. This is for exterior application. We will have a whole session on this in the next webinar, which is going to be probably next month or the following month. Okay, but you see, we have Fiberock. We have Fiberock sheathing for exterior application, and we have Fiberock roof board to be used on the roof. We have Durock. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Durock cement board. Durock cement board is usually used for exterior application. and interior application in the wet areas, like restrooms, areas in wet areas. So it's a cement board. It comes in 3 different sizes, 6.4, 12.7, 15.9. Fiber cement board is another alternative, 12 mm or 3.2 to 18 mm. I'm going a bit faster here so I can get to the Fiberock. Fiberock is another panel that we use at USG. It's a paperless panel. It doesn't have any paper. It's mainly used in high traffic areas, like in corridors and hospitals, and mostly used in corridors, hospitals, and very high traffic areas.
Sorry, Mr. for interruption. I would, if Mr. Jack Schreier, I'm unable to mute him. If he can mute.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Just briefly, I want to talk about. Guys, please mute your mic. Thank you. Fiberock, I'll go brief on this. It's mainly used in traffic areas like lobbies, corridors and hospitals, waiting rooms, restrooms. These boards are paperless boards. They're very durable boards, 97% recyclable boards. They are used mainly at a low level. What I mean by that is if you have a wall of maybe 4 meter wall, you don't have to use this board all the way from the floor line to the slab. You can use it at 1.2 from the floor line, just for the areas where you have traffic, where you have indentation to the wall or any scrape on the wall or anything like that. Okay, we can send you more information on this. It comes in 3 different, it comes as interior panel, it comes as AquaTuff for wet areas, it also comes as a tile backer board and underlayment. Drywall steel framed systems. This is what I really want to discuss. What you're looking at is a single frame system. This is based, it's made of a stud, track, you have insulation, and you have the boards. You have a board on each side. You can, this system, it's just an example looking at it. The boards could be, you could have a type X, you could have a type C on either side, or you can have a moisture resistant board or a mold resistant board. It all depends what your requirements are. This is where the USG technical team comes in and help you with this. I really emphasize you contact the technical teams. We are located everywhere in the Middle East. We are located in Saudi, in Dammam, in Riyadh, in Jeddah, in Bahrain, in Lebanon, in Qatar, in UAE. We have a vast technical team that can support you in this. We basically are asking to just give us basic information so we can design your wall partition. We basically need heights, width, which the architect will have on his drawings, with determine what the width is. What is this partition going to be used at, and where is it going to be used at? This will give us a better, more information to give you a better understanding what you need to do. Okay? Plus, you have acoustics and fire involved here. So we need to know what your acoustic requirements and what your fire requirements are. The next partition is a twin stud partition. This twin stud partition is mainly used for high acoustical areas. So in cinemas, as you already know, there's been a boom in cinemas in KSA and others, in Qatar and other in UAE. So this is what we're using in partitions between cinemas and between corridors and cinemas. Very high acoustics. You can reach up to 78 decibels on these partitions with insulation inside and boards on the outside. The other one I will talk about is the Shaftwall system. Shaftwall system mainly has been used, we use it a lot for elevator shafts. Instead of using Blockwork, this is a very good alternative to Blockwork. Basically, this because it's construction from one side only. In this picture, you will see the liner panel on the inside, the green. This is inserted in the CH stud. It's a CH stud system where you insert the liner panel, just slide it through. It's only construction from one side. So you don't have to build on the other side. Okay, so scaffolding only from one side. Okay, you can have, it's a 1 hour or 2 hour system. The boards could be a type X or a type C. And by the way, this is a UL assembly. It's UL 415. And I forgot to mention the other assemblies. It's UL 419. Exterior application. This is, Misbah mentioned before, you will have a session on this. This is basically Fiberock exterior application, where you either can have a directly applied exterior finishing, a metal panel facade finishing, or EFA system, which probably you are familiar with. But this will have this is very extensive presentation where we will discuss every element of this. Drywall system. This is mainly a regular basic drywall system. You have a gypsum board and you have a suspension system on top. Okay. I would like, before I move on to the next drywall versus blockwork, I'd like to mention a couple of things. I really want to emphasize these are very important issues. All this, the slides you see and the pictures of the framing, they're all available on the website. We have a library full of documents in CAD, in Revit, in 3D drawings that are available on the website. You can go to the website and find all these assemblies. There's much more assemblies than I'm showing you here. So you can find all this information. Misbah will send you my email. You can contact me directly if you are in UAE or any other, or Bahrain or Saudi. If I can't help you, I will direct your question to the technical manager in that area, and he'll be happy to help you. Okay. The other information I want to mention, really, we are presenting as a technical presentation. We would like to be your technical guide. So please use us, tell us what you need, and we'll be happy to help. We are all over the Middle East, so every country we have representatives that can help you. Okay? We'll move on. Let me just...
Thank you, Bassam. During the moving to the second presentation, I have copied the link for the online assemblies, as my colleague, Mr. Bassam, has mentioned. We have more than 300 UL assemblies certified, and on our website, you have a free access library for the BIM, CAD, Revit, and 3D drawings, which will be the first manufacturer in the Middle East who can provide this for the architect, contractor, and even for owner. So this will make much more easier and much more accuracy to the project during the design or even during the execution stage. So you can find the link in the chat box, and as Bassam mentioned, I will add his email address for any technical. Okay, Bassam, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Misbah. Just bear with me, I'm trying to open here. For some reason, it's a bit slow. Just bear with me, guys. Just 1 second, please. There we go. Thank you. We will talk about drywall versus blockwork comparison. I will make a list here and then we can talk about it. We did some research and we based it on 1 hour fire rated assembly. Now you can do your own comparison. Please do, and let us help you do the comparison. Okay. We've listed a bunch of items here that you need to consider before you start your design. Construction-wise, 95% less water is consumed than conventional masonry. Cost, speed of installation is 75% less in wall construction budget. Up to 4 times faster than conventional masonry. Sound insulation, like I've mentioned in the slides before, we have reached up to 78 dB with minimal wall width. Drywall is really much faster than brick on blockwork to build. Lightweight, if you have we just did Hilton Hotel in Bahrain, everything inside, interior is drywall. It's much lighter than masonry wall, and it's much faster. Flexibility, it's easy to use usable areas within given space. Seamless and crack-free surfaces. You can put paint, tiles, wallpaper on it. Green product, it's recyclable material. It's made of environmentally friendly material. Conduits, wiring, it's very easy to wire, go through wire through the cavity of the partition or put conduits. Wi-Fi, it's actually, we came up with this Wi-Fi propagation through an STC, a sound transmission class 55 drywall, can be up to 7 times better than blockwork. Now, run this example, and you can do your own examples, or we can help you with it. Separate, we're talking about material cost here. If you look at the numbers, and this presentation can be sent to you. I think Misbah already said that. You can look at the numbers yourself. In material cost only, we're higher by 5%. But let's look at the whole picture here. This is not the only thing to consider. If you're considering installation, cleaning costs, and installation cost, you have a 60% saving. Cleaning cost, you have 100% saving. If you look what's written on the screen, a carpenter, 1 crew can do 15 square meters per day. The CMU mason, 1 crew can do 9 meters per day. A plaster, 1 crew can apply 12 meters square. So there's a bit of difference. There's a lot of difference here. Cost reduction due to installation and handling, lifting. And I'll just go for the example at the bottom of the screen. To install 32 square meters of gypsum boards, the same can be used to install 24 square meters of block. So you have a saving here of 33%. Now you can check these numbers yourself, or you can do another comparison. It's something to look at. Installation and handling. Total weight, you can actually do 27 kilogram per meter square versus 225 kilogram. Assume 1 labor can push 100 kilogram. 1 labor can handle 3.7 meters square of gypsum board versus 1 labor can handle 0.4 meters square of CMU. Big saving. Water, like we mentioned before, drywall doesn't really need any water. It's 95% less water consumption. Wi-Fi, like we mentioned before, access points and accessibility to this is a big savings, 40%. Easy of renovate, drywall versus blockwork. The picture, I guess, says 1,000 words. Transportation cost. It takes you about 9 to 10 trucks of blockwork versus 1 truck of drywall for the same amount of square meters. So it's something to consider. Total save here. So if you look at the whole picture, really material cost is insignificant, it's 5% less. But you look at the rest of the chart, on the chart, it's a lot of savings. So it's something to consider, something to look at, and something we can work with on it. Just for your information, this presentation will be sent to you. And I want to really thank you. And I'm waiting for your questions. I think Misbah is monitoring the questions.
Bassam, really thank you for this second technical webinar. Bassam, as said, is our technical manager. And as we said, that this was our second technical webinar for USG Middle East. We are scheduling a technical webinar on a monthly basis, since we are committed to provide an innovative products and solution for your projects. Again, each participant will receive the recording for this presentation, as well he or she will receive the materials. In addition, to receive a 1 hour credit for the CPT continuing continuing professional development. Going back to the question and answer please session, please allow us to, if you help us to put your questions to the chat box. Bassam, I have here a few questions that now has been raised. The first question, can you please, 1 second, Bassam. The question is, can I get additional information about magnesium oxide wallboard?
I don't think we produce these type of boards, but I can look into it and see what's equivalent to this. We'll look at it.
So let me. If you allow me, Bassam, our colleague. If you allow Karim, you're with us?
Yes, Misbah, I'm with you. Just quickly, as Bassam mentioned, magnesium oxide board is not the type of board that USG manufactures. However, magnesium oxide board is a type of mineral cement board that's used to resist mold, mildew, weather, and fire. We have alternative boards that Bassam mentioned as well, which is the Duroc cement board that is an alternative to this magnesium oxide board. As well, we're moving towards a special board that's specially used for exterior applications that have resistance to weather conditions. That's Securock glass mat shielding roof board, which also comes in Type X, resistant to fire as well. So our alternative would be Securock glass mat and Duroc cement board.
Yes, very true.
Thank you, Karim. Bassam, I have another question. What is the difference between fiber cement board and Fiberock?
Oh, they're totally different. Fiber cement board is based on a cement base. The Fiberock, our Fiberock, USG Fiberock, is basically a gypsum core. It's reinforced gypsum core. So it's totally different boards. The fiber cement, like I said, it's the core is cement. It's not gypsum.
And is there any difference in the area of application, Bassam?
It depends where. We prefer. Sorry.
There's an echo. I would request the participant if they can mute their mic, please.
You can use the fiber cement board. You can be used like using the.
No, there is echo. 1 second, please.
Hello.
Yes, but now it's fine.
It's fine now. Just to go back to what I...
Naco Francis, if Mr. Naco Francis can help us just to mute his mic, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Just to go back on the fiber cement board, and like I said, they're totally different. The application, the Fiberock, like I mentioned, you can use it. It's basically used in only traffic areas, in high traffic areas, and use it only at a limited height. So you don't have to use it from the floor line to the soffit. The fiber cement board, you can use it the whole height. It's a totally different board, totally different application.
Thank you, Bassam. We have another good question.
One more question. Hello.
Your solution for a double height system above 8 meters?
Yes, above 8 meters, we usually go with the twin frame. Like I showed you on the screen, where you have a twin frame with boards on both sides. This is mainly used for very high partitions. Sometimes it works with one frame, with one single stud, but the stud has to be pretty big and pretty heavy gauge.
I have my question.
Yes, please. Bassam, you can hear?
Yes,
I can hear.
Okay. I am
Yes,
Mahmoud Bikai from Lebanon. I have one about gypsum board. What kind of gypsum board use it inside to toilet and bathroom? What is the best choice?
If I understand you correctly, you want to know what we use in the wet areas, in the bathrooms.
In toilet and bathroom.
Yes, usually we use cement boards, or we can use Fiberock, the glass mat sheathing board. You can use either one of these boards, or you can use the moisture resistant boards. But the only difference, I would say, it depends on the cladding you have in the bathrooms. If you have tiles, the weight makes a big difference which board to use. Usually, in general, gypsum boards can handle up to 25 kg per square meter. If you go higher than that, then you have to use a different board.
And for ceiling, yes, for ceiling, water.
Yes, please. Bassam, just and the same person for the ceilings, for the wet area.
For the wet area, for the ceiling, you can use in some areas, usually we use gypsum board ceiling. Some people have used Durock ceiling. They use Durock on the ceiling. You can use moisture resistant board on the ceiling.
And Bassam, if you allow me just to add that we did a recent test that our Fiberock board Type C can hold up to 75 kg per square meter.
Definitely. And actually, Misbah, to add to what you're saying, the Durock can actually handle more than 50 kg per square meter too.
So based also on the area of application and handling, you can choose either between the cement board or the glass.
It depends on the cladding, on the weight of the cladding on the boards.
Thank you, Bassam. Here another question. Do you have the DCD, Dubai Civil Defense Certificate in the UAE?
I think we do. I have to refer back to my colleagues in the UAE. If you can send me, Misbah, you've sent my email.
Yes, I can answer. We have Abu Dhabi Civil Defense.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Well, another question. What about dot and app? What about from Mr. Mustafa Hassan? What about dot and app system? Do you have solutions for that systems? Dot?
I think we do. We have but it skipped my mind. Misbah, remind me, what did we call it? We do have the system where you're attaching directly to the blockwork, right? Is that what you're referring to?
The easy finish.
The easy finish, where you're attaching the board directly to the blockwork.
This is using some adhesive to the external walls to form the link between the external walls and the internal walls through gypsum board with adhesive.
We have different systems for the bonding compound. We can bond it through the 3 different models. But there is application for the easy finish, which is recently innovated by USG, and it's available, but it's for interior application. For the exterior, you can go through the furring or from the C stud. So the easy finish product is available in the portfolio. If this is answer your questions for the direct bonding between gypsum board and blockwork.
I would really, just to add to what Misbah is saying, I would really recommend and advise everybody. The website has a vast amount of information. If you need help to go through the website to find your particular question, your answer to any of your questions, we are happy to help. I mean, there's a technical team all over the Middle East, so you know.
Indeed. Thank you, Bassam. Bassam, there is a nice question. What should be the solutions which we have to propose to prevent water penetration from below tiles installation?
I'm sorry, Ms. Bass, again, I couldn't hear you.
Yes. I would appreciate if our colleagues can. Mr. Nako Francis, if you can help us, just please to mute it.
Can I come with my question?
Yes, sure. Yes, you can ask question, please.
Nako, Mr. Nako?
Okay, Bassam. Let me ask you this question again. What's the solution which we have to propose preventing water penetration from below the tiles due to installation?
Below the tiles, you're talking about flooring here?
Yes, tiles installation. This is for the backer board.
Backer board?
Yeah, which solutions we have?
Well, I mean, it's meant the Durock cement board and the Securock boards are meant not to have any penetration, especially the Securock, where you have the glass match sheathing. It is meant not to water to penetrate any of it. So it's manufactured to resist water, to absorb water. Now the tiling has to be done correctly with the proper jointing, but penetration of water should not go through the board.
Bassam, can you please clarify if you can re-clarify the types of gypsum board, the 3 types of gypsum board?
The 3 types of gypsum board, we have the Sheetrock brand, we have the Durock cement board brand, we have the Fiberock gypsum board, and we have the Securock. These are the trademarks of USG, the flagship of USG.
And what is the Type X board, Bassam?
Type X board is a fireboard. It comes only in one size, 15.9 mm. It's been used. It's the most used board in the industry. It's actually used in all the fire-rated boards. Fire rating. It's really. I mean, it's in all the UL assemblies. Mainly used in UL. If you go to UL 419, you will see the Type X board. Let me just say this. All gypsum boards have fire resistance. Even the regular gypsum board has fire resistance. What differentiates the Type X, it has additives inside the core that for fire resistance. It's an additional fire resistance.
Bassam, and what would be the difference between Type X and Type C?
Type X, like I said, Type X is an extra protection for fire, is additives, and Type C is even further. Type C is more additives inside the core for fire. The Type C usually comes in 2 sizes, 12.7 and 15.9. The reason USG invented the Type C is basically for sealing, to use the 12.7 fireboard for the sealing. because a lot of architects and consultants would rather prefer a 12.7 instead of 15.9 on the ceiling. So USG invented this board, 12.7 Type C fireboard to use on the ceiling, fire-rated ceiling.
Bassam, I would kindly request if you can turn on your video so we can see you.
Yes, sure. I forgot about the video.
Just see, no problem. It's at the bottom. Bassam, meanwhile, Mr. Muhammad Awad, he's asking, can we see the type of structural framing for the 20 framing systems? If you can also stop sharing the screen.
Share the screen, yes.
Not an issue, Bassam. Thank you, Bassam. So there is a question for the 20 framing system, Bassam. 20 framing system. Can you please just elaborate more on the 20 framing systems, and can you see the structural framing for them?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yes, Bassam, it's fine.
It's fine now, but I'm going back to the twin frame.
One more question about the theater and the musical hall. What kinds?
I was actually gonna talk about it right now since the question has been raised.
Yeah, what
the question was?
About the musical hall and the theater panels and gypsum board. What is the best?
Bassam?
Yes, I'm trying to get. Can you guys see my screen? Can anybody see my screen?
No, not yet, Bassam. If you can just elaborate what it's.
Okay, I'll just elaborate. Basically, the twin frame system is mainly used for high acoustics and very high. This system has been used for up to 18 to 20 meters high. It's basically, as you look on the screen, or I don't know if you can see my screen, it's basically made of two twin studs, and there's a bracing between the studs at every 1.2 meters. So, and it's boarded on both sides, up to 4 boards. You can have up to 4 boards on either side.
Bassam, I have another question. Well, thank you, Bassam. I have another question for the shaft penetration and the shaft wall. Do you have a solution for the fire-rated shaft separation to accommodate the gas pipe for the horizontal?
Yes, we're talking about horizontal penetration.
Yes, Bassam. For the shaft separation. What's the solution we have for the shaft wall?
We have details in our portfolio. USG, actually, the USG website has a lot of details that we can share with you.
Sorry, Bassam, it's for the vertical separation, not for the vertical separation. Shaft wall for vertical separation.
Yeah, we have shaft wall enclosures for the vertical separation. So we can send you details on that. If you can share with me the email or his email, whoever has asked the question, I can share the information.
And it's just to reinforce, it's complying with which UL standard?
The shaft wall?
Yes.
Yes, it's a UL standard. It's actually UL 415.
Yes. Bassam, I have another question, which is commercial question. Do you supply and install or only supply? If you allow me, Bassam, here to answer. We are a manufacturer and material manufacturer globally available. We only supply materials with technical support before the sale, during, and after the sales. As Bassam said, my colleague, we have technical offices in the entire MENA region, but we don't do material installation. However, we supervise the entire installation.
And just to
Bassam,
add, sorry, Misbah, sorry to interrupt. Just to add to what Misbah is saying, we start, like I've worked, and many of my colleagues have worked with consultants and architects. We start from the concept stage, from the initiation stage, till construction stage. Even during constructions, we do supervisions on most projects. So we don't, I'm talking about technical team here and technical supervision. So basically we follow the project along. We don't stop at concept stage or development. So we continue with the consultant all throughout the project.
what about the sealant, Bassam?
The sealant?
Yes, please.
Yes, we use sealant. Basically, if you look at the framing, mainly the sealant is used on the track, under the track, on the floor slab, and above on the soffit. Also, it's very important to note, once you put your framing, your stud, the first board, before you put your first board attaching to the stud, you need to put sealant underneath the board. So the board has to be higher by 10 mm above your floor line. You have to put sealant underneath. This will prevent flanking to go through the partition. It's very important to have sealant because your acoustics, if you don't have sealant, your acoustics will not be great.
A question from the African market, Mr.
I think, Misbah, we're losing you. Apologies. This is the age of internet. Misbah, are you back? Misbah, are you back?
Bassam? Yes, I'm there with you. Can you hear me? Hello?
I lost you. We lost. I don't know if I lost you.
I'm here.
Everybody lost you.
Maybe bad connection.
Okay.
Sorry. For the African market, if there is any specifically board for the bad weather or for the extreme weather, it's a good question. There is any kind of a board for a specific area in the world, or our board can comply with different weather applications, Bassam?
No, it actually does comply with different weather patterns or weather. But basically, what we recommend once you do construction, especially interior, is to have air circulation. Once you do your construction, your partition construction, it needs to be circulated. You cannot have high humidity while you're doing your construction. It has to be enclosed. We recommend to have an enclosed building. You do your construction, or at least have air circulation. It's all in the, we have documents, we have technical papers that recommend these kind of things. For exterior, like I mentioned, we have boards that are meant for exterior application, the Fiberock and the Dura. They are meant for exterior application for weather. The Fiberock, you can be exposed, you can expose the board for 12 months without finishing. So this is the type of boards we have.
Bassam, what about the joint compound and the tapes? Do we supply the accessories?
We supply everything you see on the assembly, everything except the paint. We give you, the assembly is given with all boards, framing, screws, tapes, joint compound, everything except all you have to do at the end is either paint it or you can just leave it without paint. It's up to you what you want to do.
So full assembly, full system assembly.
Full assembly, yes.
Bassam, Can you please tell us the comparison between the gypsum board and the blockwork in terms of the durability?
Durability?
Yes.
All I can say is, you know, I've been working in this industry for the past 7 years. Drywall, all I can say is very easy to construct. It's a very fast process. It's durable in a way that you can put wiring inside. You can actually punch a hole in the drywall, and you can actually close it. You can do penetrations, easiness of penetrations. There's a lot of advantages to using drywall. You can have acoustics, fire. Blockwork doesn't. I mean, blockwork has been used for the past few centuries, but things have changed. We moved on. So the other reason I would prefer, I would use drywall. I work for a drywall company anyway, but it's actually the weight. I mean, if you have a high rise, like I mentioned, the Hilton in Bahrain, they switch from blockwork to drywall because it's of the weight of the blockwork. So there's a lot of advantages. I mean, you can try to convince somebody of that, but actually look at the numbers and you do your own comparison. And like I said, we are here ready to help you.
Bassam, and we are having next month a very interesting webinar for the structural design for the drywall. So there will be a lot of informative and constructive information we will be going to share with our customers, specifically for this particular point for the footing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Bassam, another question: which are the best boards for the high traffic areas?
Like I said before, the high traffic areas, I would really recommend to use Fiberock. It's the best board we have at USG, and I compare it to any other board in the market. It's one of the best boards that USG has ever invented. Actually, it's only done in one plant in the US. It's actually, I cannot even enter the plant. It's very secretive. It's a paperless board. It's very high dense board. And it's, like I said, it's only used at a certain height. You don't have to use that board from the floor line to the soffit. You can only use it at 1.2 meter high, where the indentation on the board will happen.
Thank you, Bassam. I have here the last question. Again, the comparison between a blockwork and the plasterboard. We have been asked for the durability and now about the cost. So the last slide in the second presentation, Bassam, which explained the entire comparison between blockwork and drywall, not in terms of cost only, in terms of the entire other features and benefits. This was the last question. Please, if you have any additional questions, please just feel free to type them to the chat box, and we are happy to help you.
Yes, I'm trying to just to answer the last question. I think he's talking about this screen.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah. Just looking at this screen, I mean, I would really emphasize and tell you to look at the screen carefully, because it really makes a big difference in your decision. We're not telling you to do this. We're asking you just to look at it and make your own decision. But, you know, there's a lot of savings here. Beside the material cost, there's a 5% difference. I agree. But then you have the installation cost, the cleaning cost, the handling and lifting cost, the water usage, the timing, the saving of transportation to lifting the trucks, the number of trucks you would need, and the Wi-Fi. So if you combine all these, it is, you know, to me, it's a no-brainer. But, you know, it's also, you have to use your own judgment on this.
Bassam, please allow me to add, this is only for the direct material cost, but what about the restoration, the retrofitting, for comparing the plasterboard with the blockwork? How do you see it more on the maintenance cost and the operational cost for the project's owner as well, since they are keen to have a better operational cost?
I mean, it is. The drywall is very easy to restore. I mean, if there's some damage, you can just do a hole on the drywall, restore it. It's very easy to restore. It's very easy to restore drywall to maybe to install new wiring, new conduits. So it's not something that it's difficult. It's much better than doing a blockwork restoration, that you have to destroy the whole blockwork in order to restore the wall or build a new wall. So there's some advantages of using a drywall.
Bassam, I have here another question from Simon Al-Najjar. USG has mentioned to use sheetrock acoustical sealant in the system. Also in the data sheet for acoustical sealant mentioned it has 3-hour fire rated. Is the acoustical sealant considered as a fire stop?
Yes, it is. It's an acoustical and fire stop, both. So when you use it on your drywall, I mean, we've used it in cinemas right now, in many cinemas in KSA and in Qatar and UAE and Bahrain. We always use the acoustical USG acoustical sealant. It's both acoustics, prevents slanking, and it's also used for fire prevention. It's actually mentioned on the USG data sheet, the sealant data sheet.
I have a question. Can you talk about the joint compound for the Fiberock and what kind of joint compound we should use?
Joint compound used on all the boards are the same, except when used on Fiberock and Fiberock. We usually use the base coat for the cement board. We have a different than joint compound, the sheetrock joint compound. But you use the sheetrock joint compound on the Fiberock too.
So we have mainly the Fiberock base coat for the Fiberock board, and we have the base compound, which is the ready mix.
The ready mix compound, right?
Yeah, for the ready mix. So we have both. Again, a question: will the sealant help in preventing water penetration to the wall, Bassam?
It should, but it's not meant to be water repellent. It's meant to be a fire and an acoustical sealant. It's not a water repellent sealant. But actually, it seals the whatever you're doing. So there should not be any penetration going through the sealant itself.
Bassam, I have here an interesting question from African market as well. Do we have a special drywall for heat resistant characteristics area with the high temperatures? It's about the assembly, not about the board. This is about the assembly, Bassam, the question.
We're talking about an assembly here. So if there's heat inside the room, outside to inside.
Yes.
So we're talking about a penetration of heat or thermal between outside and inside.
Yes.
We design assemblies. This is basically on EFIS system or any other system for exterior application that we design preventing heat and to go through the system, to go to the wall partition to the inside.
Bassam, you have mentioned during the presentation that we'll have a separate presentation for the exterior envelope and the exterior facade. But here I have a question. We want more details for the external cladding that's fully exposed to weather, and what all things we need to take into consideration, like the stud, runner, thickness, etc. So building for exterior envelopes, Bassam, in terms of assembly, plasterboard and the assembly. Could you please give more technical inputs here?
All I can say is we can send you information. We have a lot of information on exterior application, which we'll be presenting probably, I don't know, Misbah, maybe next month or the following month.
But if you can just quickly, Bassam, for the exterior facade.
Definitely. For exterior application, we really recommend the Fiberock. This board is really, it's a glass mat sheathing board. It's been used in the US in all exterior application right now instead of blockwork, and it has cladding on it. This board can take up to 70 kg per square meter. So it's a very, and this board has been made locally here in Oman for USG. It used to come from the US. So exterior application is mainly, as a system, we're talking about a partition as a system with Fiberock on the outside and board on the inside with a cavity of studs on the inside. We have a lot more details on the type of cladding you can put on the outside. We just finished the project in Bahrain using Fiberock on the outside, and it's cladded with tiles with 30 to 40 kg per meter square of tiling on top of the Fiberock. But it had some special framing too. So all I can say is
we'll have a special presentation for the exterior.
Yeah, it depends on the exterior and what the framing is, and so there's some special things you can do.
Bassam, I have a question from Casablanca, Morocco, from Mr. Rashid. Do we have products compliance matrix with the French norm?
I think not really. We usually go by the ENBS norms. The French norm, I'm not really sure the French norm. I haven't experienced the French norms, but we can go by the BS and EN norms, which are comparable to the ASTM norms.
So usually we have the UL, BS, and EN, but maybe we can reply for Mr. Rashid in a private. Bassam, Mr. Rashid, if you can share your email address, and I will put here to the chat box our colleague Bassam Tarani email address as well for any additional private questions.
We can actually, Misbah, we can look at it. We can look at him and see how we can help him.
That's why Bassam we're having these international webinar session to share our stakeholder, what we have and what our customers really request from us to have the expansion. But Sam, I have here a question, how we can fix the board. This is not a clear question, but let me, how you can install board without damaging the edges?
Without damaging the edges?
Indeed, yes.
It needs a very good contractor to do that. but really, it's basically the screws are spaced. There's a construction manual that USG has. It does give you exactly what you need to do on the edges and on the joints. It specifically gives you distances, what needs to be done for the edges and for the joints.
And what about the assistance for the edge?
The edge, there's an edge. I don't have the exact details for the edge, but I can share this information. Whoever that asked this question, I can share them from the construction manual. We have requirements for the edges actually.
Bassam, I have here a question from. But also he mentioned Duroc board. Can you please just give more elaboration on Duroc boards?
Duroc board is a USG board. It's made in the US, at different plants in the US. It's a cement board. It comes in two sizes, 12.7, 15.9. It's mainly used in exterior application, and it's also used for wet areas interior. It can absorb or it can carry up to 50 kg or more per square meter for the board. Usually it's a very durable board. It's very easy to snap and cut. It has an edge guard technology. I think this happened the last few years with the USG. So prevent the edge from crumbling or cracking. So, and it's a very good board.
So Bassam, till now this was the last question, and hopefully that that you can receive additional question to your direct email address, which I have posted to the chat box, and I will share again here.
Okay.
Please let us know if you have additional questions. You can see now Bassam Farhan email is in the chat box. Bassam, he's based in Bahrain, but with the regional offices, he's managing the MENA region. We have offices for the technical in Bahrain, as well in Lebanon, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, all other provinces, as well as in Turkey. So please don't hesitate to raise any question you can immediately for our technical people. Again, we will share this informative presentation with the video. Bassam, I have another question here. Can we install solar cell or solar cell for the exterior drywall?
You mean on the exterior drywall? On the exterior board, probably?
Yes. Can we
I'm sure we can. I just need to know
beams on the in the exterior, Bassam. Yes, indeed.
I'm sure we can. It just depends on the weight and how we're gonna do the fixing. But I'm sure we can look at it. But I don't see a problem. We can do that.
Just to add to Bassam, we have a special product called the structural panel, which we have details for the solar panels that can be installed on the structural panel. We can share also the technical information and data sheets for that after you email it to Bassam.
Thank you, Karim. Do I get the certificate for participation? Yes, sure. We will be sending 1 hour credit certificate of participation. And as I said last month, and I still in the commitment that we are in contact with the RIBA and AII in terms of to accredit our presentations, but it has been stalled due to the current situation in UK and the US for the current pandemic. So currently, we issued a certificate from USG, and hopefully in 2021 it will be accredited by international bodies similarly to the AIA and for the RIBA. I would like, on behalf of USG Middle East, to thank all participants for attending our second technical webinar. We will be conducting a technical webinar on a monthly basis, having a different targeted subjects in order not only to give information, to interact. That's why we are here to work with our stakeholders. I would have to thank a special thank for our technical manager based in Bahrain, Mr. Bassam Farhan, for this wonderful 90 minutes spent. Honestly, for me, it was as 9 minutes, very informative, very fast, and full of heavy information. So thank you, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
سمعت شيء منا.
Thank you. Bassam.
Yeah. Hi, Misbah.
Last question we have.
Oh, we have a question. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was about to log off.
Yeah, concerning the board installation, contractor should use the correct screws with the type of assembly. Example, gypsum screw cannot be used with a Duroc. This was not a question. This was a comment that we need to use also from Emilio. That concerning the board of installation, a contractor should use the correct screws with the type of assembly. Example, gypsum screws cannot be used with a Duroc. Also, interiors and exterior screws are vary.
Very, very, very true. I think Emilio sent that.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, that's true. Screws has to be different for different application, for interior and exterior and Duroc screws. Yeah, you're right. Emilio's right on point.
So this was the last from David. Do you provide technical support in area that you have your representatives? So Bassam, very nice question. Which kind of support we give for our agent representative for area which we don't have offices? If you can give us an instance, Bassam.
We do have, I mean, like I said, we do have offices in Bahrain, technical, and KSA, in UAE, but there are some areas we don't have actually a technical person, but that's not an issue because myself, I travel throughout the MENA region, so we can provide technical support to any area in the Middle East. We can provide technical support in Turkey, in Kuwait, in Jordan. So we cover the whole area, and we have a lot of technical people that can support you. I don't know if I answered this question or not.
You will have elaborated your presentation, but this is a nice claim for the closing for the webinar, just to reconfirm this essential point, Bassam, especially in Africa. So again, David is asking from Africa. So for Egypt and for our colleagues in Lebanon team, how they are bounding to Africa. If you can please, Bassam, explain as well here.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. I don't work alone. There's a team of technical people, whether it's wallboards or ceiling, that can help. We actually have people traveling to Africa to meet consultants and architects. So we don't actually have one permanent there in North Africa, but we're anticipating to have somebody located in Egypt soon. So, and we are expanding, so we will have more people, more technical people located in different areas. But we are really, I can't emphasize enough, we can help you wherever you are. I mean, with the technologies happening right now, we can have a meeting, we can have a video meeting, explaining everything, or we can have a physical meeting at a later date. Right now, COVID is handicapped everybody. But at a later date, I'll be traveling a lot. So I'll be going to different places. So whenever there's an opportunity for us to meet other people and to meet clients, we'll be happy to do so.
And Bassam, do we provide a training as well, technical training for the representative clients
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do, Misbah, as you know, we've done many trainings throughout the region. We've done trainings in Kuwait, we've done training in Jordan, we've done training in Beirut, we've done training in many areas. So whenever there's a need for training, we will definitely do so.
My email address for Mr. Nako Francis. He's asking for the distribution and this thing for some commercial question for the distribution agreement. That's in Mr. Nakos, you can send it to me directly to my private email. So Bassam and all, really thanks for this wonderful session, and we'll hopefully see you soon in January with our coming webinar. We will sending again the certificate of attendance and the material of the video and the both presentation. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
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 Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Misbah, you can share Mr. Nwako Francis details also with me in case he wants to discuss any commercial.
100%. Mr. Nwako Francis, if you could please just send us your email address, and we'll keep you in touch. Sure, Emilio.
Thank you.